2025, Karoline Leavitt didn't just break records, she shattered expectations. At only 27, she became the youngest White House press secretary in U.S. history, a political prodigy with a sharp tongue and even sharper instincts. But what followed next was even more headline-worthy. Within months, she married Nicholas Riccio, a real estate tycoon with a fortune north of $300 million. Suddenly, she wasn't just showing up in press briefings, she was stepping out in Chanel, Gucci, and diamond-studded heels, living in a penthouse most Americans wouldn't even dare to dream of. So how did she rise so fast? Was this calculated ambition or something more strategic? And how much of her public image hides a much more complex and wealthier reality? Stick around, because what's beneath the surface might just change the way you see American power forever. Karoline Leavitt wasn't born into DC royalty, and that's what made her climb all the more impressive. Raised in a modest, working-class home in Atkinson, New Hampshire, she attended St. Anselm College and started her career the way many dream of interning at Fox News. But unlike most interns, she didn't fade into the background. She stood out. Her sharp commentary, relentless energy, and instinct for media caught the eye of powerful conservatives. Soon after, she was recruited to join President Trump's White House as an assistant press secretary, then transitioned into a key communications role for Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, one of the top Republican leaders in the House. By 24, she was already making headlines as one of the youngest congressional candidates in the country. But the real game changer came in 2025 when she was appointed White House press secretary, the youngest in U.S. history. It wasn't just timing or good fortune, it was calculated, strategic, and backed by powerful connections. 2025 wasn't just a big year for Leavitt's career, it was the year her entire life changed. Her marriage to Nicholas Riccio, a real estate magnate several decades her senior, shocked both fans and critics. Riccio, well into his 60s, had built an empire in commercial and luxury real estate, with an estimated net worth north of $300 million. The two met through mutual political donors and quickly became inseparable. Some saw the union as transactional, a pairing of ambition and wealth. Others said it was genuine connection. But what's undeniable is the shift that occurred after they said, "I do." Practically overnight, Leavitt gained access to a sprawling financial empire, high-end condos in Manhattan, commercial towers in Florida, and exotic properties in the Caribbean. The wedding itself was quiet, closed off from the press, attended only by a hand-picked elite circle from politics and business. No photos were released, no interviews given. Just a new power couple, one that now held influence on Capitol Hill and Wall Street. Leavitt's transformation didn't stop with her title or her marriage. It showed up in every outfit she wore, starting subtly with a Gucci watch during a televised debate. Then came the red-soled Louboutin heels, the monogrammed Louis Vuitton bags, and eventually a rotation of Chanel coats that became her unofficial uniform. Paparazzi snapped her walking into the White House like it was the Met Gala. And the public? They noticed. Fast. Some accused her of flaunting wealth while the country faced economic strain. Others defended her as a woman embracing success and style. But in Washington, nothing is ever just about fashion. Every outfit was a statement. Every handbag, a signal. Leavitt wasn't just dressing up, she was branding herself. As a polished icon, as untouchable. And as whispers swirled about her growing wealth, the accessories only added fuel to the fire. How did a public servant afford all of this? Was it her husband's money, campaign funds, strategic gifting from designer sponsors? No one could say for sure. But one thing was clear. Her wardrobe wasn't just designer, it was deliberate. Here's where things start to get murky. As press secretary, her official salary ranged from $180,000 to $220,000 comfortable, but hardly ultra-rich. Yet reports estimate her net worth at over $8 million. Where did the extra come from? Public records show a series of consulting deals, paid speaking events, and a handful of shadowy LLCs tied to property investments. But most notably, her financial leap came after marrying Riccio. She became co-owner in several of his ventures, including a luxury real estate firm based in Manhattan. There's also evidence of offshore accounts and trust funds set up post-wedding. Whether she built it or married into it, Leavitt's money grew fast and far. Before the designer bags and luxury real estate, there was a different Karoline one neck-deep in campaign debt. Her 2022 run for Congress ended with over $325,000 in unpaid expenses. Some of that debt reportedly came from questionable spending, lavish events, private flights, and consulting fees. Even more concerning, campaign finance watchdogs accused her of accepting illegal donations, including contributions from corporations linked to her husband. While she denied any wrongdoing, the debts remained unresolved for years. And yet, within months, she was living like royalty. The contrast raised alarms. Was this savvy financial management, or something more strategic and less legal? Leavitt didn't just walk into controversy, she ran toward it. Whether it was cutting short a CNN interview after blasting the moderators, or refusing to speak with journalists who listed pronouns in their email signatures, she built her brand on confrontation. Some called it bravery, others pure spectacle. But the result was the same. More headlines, more camera time, and a loyal base of fans who saw her as fearless. She leaned into the chaos, and with each clash, her following grew. But behind the scenes, PR firms scrambled to manage the fallout, and legal teams kept watch for missteps. She played offense, always, and it worked until it didn't. Leavitt's life after politics looked more like a Forbes feature than a government employee's retirement plan. She and Riccio split time between a penthouse in DC, a beachfront villa in Palm Beach, and a mountainside retreat in Aspen. She was frequently spotted at luxury resorts, art galas, and private fundraisers hosted by billionaires. Her circle now included hedge fund managers, crypto moguls, and former cabinet members turned lobbyists. Even her vacation photos were strategically curated, never too flashy, but always just enough to suggest, "I've made it." This wasn't just luxury, it was status marketing, and she was its best brand ambassador. Here's the twist. The Karoline Leavitt you see on camera isn't the one insiders talk about behind closed doors. Publicly, she's polished, patriotic, grounded. Privately, she's ruthless, hyper-calculated, and surrounded by advisors who manage every detail of her persona. Staffers describe her as charming one moment, cold the next. She's loyal to those who serve her goals. And when it comes to reputation, she's obsessed. Every social media post, every appearance, and built a life few can even imagine. But behind the glamour and power, questions remain. How far is too far? And how much truth is buried beneath the luxury? What comes next could change everything. If you're just as intrigued by the shadows behind the spotlight, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe and hit the bell icon because the real story of Karoline Leavitt is only getting started.